mostly. So this is much more stable. And so there's no need for us to worry. It doesn't apply to us. Now look at the present crisis. Latin America has been doing quite well. There's no incident of a country running a balance of payment crisis. Latin America always has problems, but this time problems are different. They are not being caused by the crisis. Actually, when the crisis started, there was a flow of capital going to Latin America, and it was so big that they were concerned about inflation. And countries started to grow even faster. So there was no impact from the financial point of view. From exports, the export points of view, everybody was hit, obviously, especially those that exported to the developed countries, but like Mexico, certainly. You cannot avoid that. But from the financial point of view, the shocks were non-existent. Compare that with Eastern Europe or countries like Iceland. And when you compare, what's the main difference? The main difference is that in those countries, you see large current account deficit and foreign exchange denominated debts. Therefore, a devaluation, for example, that under normal circumstances may help stabilize an economy from a financial point of view, it works the other way around when you have foreign exchange denominated debts. We learned that, I mean, the hard way in Argentina in 2002. It was a heavily dollarized economy, and the exchange rate went from being 1-to-1 with the dollar to 3-to-1 with the dollar. So those households, imagine, that bought stuff and took debts in foreign exchange, they were devastated. Well, something like that happened in Hungary now, and you see that also going on in Iceland and several other countries in the Baltic countries, same thing. So again, you see the financial sector comes up, and there are lessons there. There are lessons. You can do something to shield the economy from these shocks. So there are two things, and after saying that, I will stop and let you ask questions. In the first place, the general comment is that we are witnessing a financial debacle. However, fortunately, we have learned from past experience that individual countries can do something, de-dollarize, for example, follow a more lower the current account deficit. We learned that, so that's a positive thing. On the other hand, we learned that this is a global phenomenon. So it's very unlikely that individual countries will be able to solve this problem. Actually, if individual countries are left alone to solve this problem, you can generate other problems which are also very, very complicated, very, very costly, I would say, even at the global level. And let me give you one example, which is going on already. We learned that having international reserves is a good idea, because that's one of the lessons. If you have international reserves, you don't have to go to the fund, you don't have to go to the community, to the ECB, whatever, to get international liquidity if you are hit by a financial crisis. So we learned that. Now we do nothing. Individual countries, especially emerging countries, what are they going to do now? Accumulate reserves. That's what they are doing. what does it mean, accumulate reserve? It means that you are lending to the US. So the global imbalances, which is another concern, instead of going to a situation where they are going to be phased out, the global imbalances will be there, maybe even worse. And actually that's a big concern for the U.S. Right? That's why the U.S. is putting so much pressure on China on appreciating its currency. But anyhow, if all the emerging markets, the developing world, is shielding itself by accumulating foreign reserves, then the other side of the coin is that you are lending to the U.S. And in equilibrium, if you are lending and another one is borrowing, then the borrower is spending more than they make, and therefore the global imbalances will be there. So that's to be one example. Another example that's also very worrisome is that if you have a crisis and you don't have support from the global community, all of a sudden countries will start becoming more protectionist. And that's a very natural thing, and you see that going on already. So if we want, and with this I finish, if we want a global system that works, we need a financial system that supports. And we are very far from that, very, very far. I think the G20 is going in that direction, but there are many other things that have to be done. So this is the general issue that we will be discussing tomorrow, and I'll be very happy to take questions from the question.